This is The Wow Effect, the podcast for women entrepreneurs who are scaling big. I'm Mallory Steele, and every episode expect honest conversations, actionable insights, and stories that make you say, wow. Welcome to the Wow Effect podcast, where we explore the real stories, lessons, and wow moments that shape extraordinary entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Mallory Steele. Today, I'm joined by the powerhouse Dr. Jolie Phillips. She's a holistic doctor, a commercial pilot, and a lifelong entrepreneur whose journey started with a paper route at just 12 years old. Dr. Jolie has built businesses across industries, and today she's helping others create financial freedom by blending practical systems, visionary thinking, and emerging tools like Web3. In this conversation, Dr. Jolie shares her framework of the 3 circles of entrepreneurship, the importance of checklists and vision, and how to build systems that give you both wealth and joy. We also jump into lessons on overcoming fear, embracing win-win scenarios, and even how health practices tie into entrepreneurship. Whether you're just starting your business, you're scaling to 6 figures, or aiming higher, you're going to walk away from this episode with tools, inspiration, and a few wow moments of your own. Let's go. So, Dr. Jolie, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me and do this. And you always have a billion things on the go, and at the same time, you're consistently grounded. Or you appear that way anyways. You present yourself that way. So maybe just by kicking us off, take it in whichever direction you want. But we were just talking about there's a billion times where you probably should have died, or you shouldn't be here with us. And there's also a billion projects you're always working on. So what's something exciting that comes to mind right now?
Well, the first thing that's exciting is seeing you again, because it seems like forever since you've been in Florida, and I'm excited for you to get back to Florida. But I want to thank you for inviting me to the podcast and to be on your show. I'm very excited about what you're trying to do and the audience you're talking to and the messages that you're trying to get through to these beautiful people. So I want to express gratitude to you for permitting me to be on your show. In terms of billions of projects, and I've told you a million times, don't exaggerate, but listen.
Okay, a million projects, sorry, not a billion.
A billion projects, but it's actually pretty close. I have like 35 websites right now. Most of them are not developed all the way because I need technologists. I need people on my teams, but each one of those projects leads to cash flows. Each one of those is, wow, it's a bold statement, but they're world-changing concepts. So those are super exciting. Other things that are exciting, when I look at the world around me, I see more opportunity now than I have in my 62 years. I think my next 62 years are going to be more than I ever dreamed about in terms of where I think we're just entering this beautiful, beautiful space right now where we're going to be if you're not in the fear realm, if you're present and you're aware and your head's up and you're looking for opportunities, I think there's going to be more opportunities now than ever in our lifetimes. And I think there's going to be more millionaires, more new millionaires. I mean, some of us are millionaires already, but there's going to be more new millionaires made in the next 24 to 36 months than the history of the country, really, you're from Canada, but in the history of our known world, there's going to be more millionaires, a big transference of wealth. I think we're entering an age where money is no longer going to be stolen from we the people, but money is going to be transferred to we the people, those of us who bring value to the system. So I think that those would be some good talking points. You can branch off of that, whatever direction you want to go.
I love it. So for someone who's listening, hearing all this opportunity and to become a millionaire in the next few months, where would they even begin?
It's a really good question. I'm not going to give you the answer you think, But I think you really need to begin with your soul, with your spirit, and ask yourself the question, who are you and why are you here? What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? So I'm going to give you some examples, okay? When I coach my entrepreneurs, because this weekend here in Florida, anyone in Florida, you're welcome, but I'm going to have my
I
entrepreneur.
wish I were back.
I know, right? And right behind me is my big, I think you've been in my living room. It's pretty big. We probably have 20 or 30 people here. But my entrepreneur group, one of the things I teach them is think about 3 circles. There's 3 different circles. One circle is all of the things that bring you joy and happiness. Okay. That's things you love doing, things that light your fire, right? The next circle would be the things that you can actually, that you're actually good at. All right. So some people they really love singing, but they're not good. Okay. I'm just going to.
Maybe in their shower.
Yeah, keep it in the bathtub. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the first 2 circles. What do you love doing and what are you good at? Or what can you get good at? Let's say it that way. What can you get good at? My belief is that you can get good at almost anything. All right. And I have a story for that too. The third circle is what can you make stupid money with? Like what can you bring in tons of money? Now, if you're fortunate, all 3 of those things coincide. For me, they coincide. Like I'm really, really good at, I love doing so many things. Totally love I love to play music. I'm a bass player. I love to grow things in the garden, right? There's so many things I love. I love to be on podcasts with you. I love to meet people and just go out to new places and just meet people. So I love to do those things. Check. Okay. So this is what do I love to do circle? It's monster size. Then you go over to your second circle. What are you good at? I'm good at all those things too, right? I'm really good. I'm a good bass player and I'm good at flying airplanes and I'm good at meeting people and I'm really good at those things too. So those first 2 circles are really pretty simple. Third thing, what can I make ridiculous money with, right? Now that circle, that third circle is where we'll talk about now, because I think that if you can't get all 3 circles, like you might say, well, I love playing bass guitar and I'm really good at it, but I can't make money. Well, you can still get that third circle, just keep being the accountant. Like you can still keep your 24, keep your 40-hour a week job as an accountant and just make that. And then so you make your extra money doing the other things, and then you have your main circle be your main circle. You still probably want to see if that'll scale, if you can take that to your next level. But I always go back to the basics, those 3 things, because it's one thing for me to talk to you about, well, here's some things you can do and you can crush it. You can make a lot of money. There's so many of those things. And if you're not good at it, you either need to get good or find somebody that's good and bring them onto your team. And does it bring you joy? So, and I purposely said those in that order, okay? Now, the type of money matters. Most people here, they know me as Dr. Phillips, and that's because I'm a doctor of holistic natural health. I don't enjoy that, okay? I'm really good at it. I'm really good at being a holistic doctor, but I don't like talking to people about their rashes on their bodies. Okay, it's not something that brings me joy. I like helping them. I like helping them lose weight. I love certain parts of that, but it's not something I wake up and spring into action and saying, who can I help with their butt rash today? It doesn't light my fire. And can you make a lot of money? Yes. So there's different circles that you can do different ways. Some of you may know that I'm a commercial pilot. I'm almost 19-year airline captain. I took a leave of absence probably 10 years ago. I've not flown as an airline captain for almost 10 years. Why? Well, I've got personal reasons why. If I were to go back right now to fly airplanes, I would be a captain for JetBlue if you're in a different country, that's an airline that has blue airplanes that are jets.
Makes sense.
But if I were to go back there right now, I would make about $365 per hour. $365 per hour. Whenever you hear dollars per hour, as an entrepreneur, your brain shuts off. As a business owner, your brain shuts off. And people have come to me and said, why aren't you going back to flying? Again, I have personal reasons for not going back to flying. And they're personal because they're personal. So I won't say them here. But I will say that I will be back to flying. I will go fly, but it's just not going to be in the next year or two. Now, why would I not go back and make that? Because that's over $300,000 a year if I go back and do that. Because it's the wrong type of money. Because when I stopped flying the airplanes, I stopped getting paid.
Yeah, what's your time worth?
Yeah. So how
do you leverage it?
Yes. So my message is one of freedom. What lights you? What are those things? I told you my circle for the things I love to do is this big. Well, if I go and make $365 flying somebody else's airplane, being told how to fly the airplane, and being mistreated by passengers up and down the spoiled brat East Coast, right? Mm-hmm. Sleeping in hotels, sleeping in beds, being in places I don't want to be, that does not bring me joy.
I was going to say, it probably sounds like a dream to a lot of people who never lived that life.
Right. Now, I've talked to personal people because right now I could actually be a senior captain in Orlando, which I could drive to work. That's more appealing to me. It's getting closer, but I still have other personal reasons that I have to say no to that for now. So why is this an issue? Because each one of us is dealing with, why are we doing the things we're doing? When I say yes to something, I'm saying no to something else, right? But also when the world says no to me, and it doesn't mean no, it means look for a new opportunity. New opportunity. So the question becomes, okay, if I'm going to do something or not do something, what are all the other possibilities that I can or can't do? And what does that mean to me in the big scheme of things? So this could get very, very confusing very quickly. So years ago, I took all of my little 3x5 cards, basically that I've had since I was a child, because I had my first business in 1975.
I remember that year.
Probably the year you were
No,
born.
I don't. I'm sorry. That's why you're the seasoned experience one.
Yeah, so I had my first business in 1975, and I started investing in 1977. And at 14 years old, I had more money than anybody I knew. I mean, probably more than my parents even. So I started investing. And so what I'm sharing with you today is based on experience. I used to study my aunts, my uncles, anyone who had business, my godfather, my godmother, they had businesses. And I used to take notes. I used to listen to people talk like you and I are talking, and I would take notes. Even now, when I go to my entrepreneurs, I tell them, you should have a book, one of these little books that you get at the dollar store. Mm-hmm. The top of your book should say health. The other side should say wealth. Health and wealth. That's it.
Love it.
Health and wealth. And the reason I flip it over is because most of us only write on one side anyway, right? So if you flip it over, you write on the other. So anyway.
I won't buy a phone without the pen attached.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm just.
Very handy.
It's perfect. So the health and wealth. So what I've done over the years is I've put together this, it's actually a checklist that helps people kind of keep focused. I have it in my website. It's free to use. You can just go to tiajolie.com/inventory. Just like you take inventory at a store, you're taking inventory of yourself. Mm-hmm. So as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, and you're trying to sort out your thoughts and your goals and your dreams, I made this checklist, and I'm going to update it. It'll be updated. But for now, it's just simply about, you scale yourself. What's important to me? This. And you can just go through the whole checklist and scale And it just asks questions, what's more important, this or this? And it's a pretty useful tool.
Amazing. We'll make sure we include that in the description.
Yeah. And there's actually a link to a video that's called The Elements of the Perfect Business. That's already outdated. That's a few years old, and I'm doing a new one right now. So if you don't have a checklist for what's important to you, then you're going to pretty much be pulled in all of these directions. It's like, if you don't know the importance of this tool right here, the cell phone, if you don't understand the importance of having this computer in your hand, what it can do, and you don't have a mental idea of this power and how to use this power, then you're going to spend all day watching videos of kittens, right? Like, you're going to be pulled off looking at which politicians arguing with which one. You're going to be all over the place. So you have to kind of use a checklist, just like a pilot. Use a checklist, keep yourself focused, understand what's important to me. I understand JetBlue wants pilots with my experience. They don't make us anymore. We're really, really, really good. There's an era of us. You want us to be your captain. I promise you, because we're that good, but we're also smart. We're not arrogant good. Like, we just know what we're doing, right? What the problem is that you can have something you love, like flying airplanes, but then you go into the corporate world and they suck the joy out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm in a place now where it's like, okay, how do I get my own helicopter? How do I get my own airplane? Because my one of the most joyful things I can do is, instead of you being in Mexico and I'm in Florida talking like this, would be for me to call you and say, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm open. Great. I'm going to pick you up with my helicopter. We're going to go to my jet. We're going to go to the panhandle of Florida, have lunch with some cool people, and I'll have you back by dinner time. You down? Right?
Perfect.
And to me, that brings me joy and happiness. That's where that lights my fire. That's something in front of me, that being with cool people doing cool things, that's enough to propel me forward. In scripture, it says a man without vision will perish. Well, what's your vision for yourself? If you want to support women, single moms, if that's your thing, or disabled veterans, if that's your thing, make it your thing and own it and go for it. And don't take no for an answer. Take it as a new opportunity.
I was going to say, you slipped a great word in there that it somehow tied it into all of the airplane and flying that you do to propel you forward. And I know you did that probably unintentionally, but intentionally. And
I'm usually very funny, but that was totally unintentional. Actually, I have very little time flying propeller airplanes. Virtually all of my time is jet time. So
okay. I'm going to say, I look forward to us in a couple of years doing this again from your jet.
I'm down for that.
Awesome.
That's perfect. So anyway, that was a lot of words coming at you. So where do you want to spin off from here?
That was a lot. I was just thinking there was something that you touched on a little bit back. When you were 14, you recognized you have this entrepreneurial spirit, you're investing. Where did you get that insight to be able to do that at such a young age?
Wow. That's a really good question. The short answer is I'm not sure.
Okay.
The longer answer is, when I came into this earth space, I found it to be very confusing. There's so many things that, just as a toddler, I was looking around being very confused. There's only a couple things I knew for sure. One was that I was very different than the normal everyday person. I knew I was different. The other thing is, I knew I needed to fly airplanes. Okay, I knew those two things. And I used to be in the traffic pattern for Detroit Metro Airport and just lay on my grass and look straight up at the airplanes going, I'm going to do that one. I just knew, my earliest memories, I knew that I was going to be doing that. Simple as that. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew I was going to do it. Because my family was pretty broke. I don't even know how my family made it. So I grew up, I had 4 siblings. I later found out I had a 5th sibling. Like a few years ago, I found out I have an older sister, which is pretty cool. But but my family, I realized that we were not affluent. I mean, we never were living out of the trunk of our car, but we did not have extra money ever. We had very, very few resources. We had to share food and stuff. I mean, there was no leftovers ever. I mean, we did not have excess in my family.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but I think a lot of women would use that as an excuse to stay stuck.
Yeah, I agree. But I looked around, like in high school, I looked around and there was people wearing cool clothing. Like we would basically get two new pairs of pants and 2 shirts at the beginning of the school year, maybe some books, and that was it. You're on your own. So when you say to me, you're on your own, I take it seriously. It's like, okay, well, I better learn how to make money. I better learn how to do these things. And so my first job, my first career business was I could not even wait because my parents said I had to be 12 years old before I could have a paper route.
Mm-hmm.
So it was when I turned 12, I got my paper route, and I was so good at it. It's not just about pitching papers. You have to actually manage your customers. This customer wants it in the door. This one wants it underneath the mat. This one wants Sunday off. This one only wants Thursday. Like you literally have to manage a lot of things at 12 years old. You pay like 3 cents for the paper, and they want 5 papers. That's 15 cents. But I'm charging 50 cents, so I can make 35 cents a paper. Okay, I need 100 customers to make. Like, you see how it goes. So you're doing these little micro calculations. And I got so good that my manager said, hey, listen, there's a paper route right next to your route that's coming available. You can buy it from the existing person. I'm like, buy a paper route from the existing person? So there's a negotiation about how much I'm going to pay for the paper route based on the cash flow it would bring in.
So were you already planning your exit strategies for when you were going to build your paper route empire, and then you can sell yours to the next person?
I ended up selling those 2 paper routes. Plus I was like a real estate tycoon because I had all these paper routes, but then there was this one that was like over 1.5 miles away from my first 2, but my manager wanted me to have it, and it was an apartment complex. So yes, you have to drive 1 mile away in a Detroit winter, but you have these big bags of papers, and then you could just stuff papers into like a grid. So there'd be 20 customers. You go, and you deliver 10 papers like that. So it's like, there's a trade-off. So again, it's business, but there's a trade-off. So anyway, and then while I was doing this paperwork, I know this is a lot, but you asked how I got started, and I'm just telling you, it was necessity because I wanted more things that I could not get from the world as a kid. At 12 years old, I had an opportunity and I took it. Then and this is what I tell my kids. I got 4 kids and 4 grandkids. I taught my kids at a young age, if you have a shot, take it. You miss all of the shots you don't take. If you have a chance to move forward, move forward. The moment you move forward, your perspective changes. The moment you take a step forward, you have a different viewpoint. You have a different perspective. So because I started my paper route, then there were people in the wintertime, because you're from Toronto, right? Or no, are you from Toronto?
Close enough, yeah.
Was it Ottawa? Where's home for you?
It's like Wasaga Beach, which is north of Toronto, but
north of Toronto. Okay.
Close
so
enough.
The winters are ridiculous sometimes. And you get the Great Lakes heavy snow too. So I was doing that, and then people would ask me if I could shovel the snow and all this stuff or sweep the snow off, and I'm like, because they were going to pay me to do it. But then the neighbors told the neighbors about me, and then I ended up hiring my brother to remove snow. I made enough money removing snow. I actually bought one of the machines to remove snow. So now I have a capital investment. So this is all before I was 14 years old.
Wow.
So I had a little contract, a little piece of paper where they were going to pay me whether there was no snow or all the snow. They had a contract where they're going to pay me monthly a subscription to remove snow. And sometimes I won, and sometimes I operated a loss because we had heavy snows and I had to pay somebody to help me. So
Right.
all of that came into play. But that was the genesis. Back, we didn't have internet, we didn't have paper, we didn't have emails. We just had like the newspapers. So I had to drive my money. I had to talk somebody into driving me up to the broker so I could give him my money. And he could take $50 from me to execute a trade. But then I was in the stock market and I could read the newspaper and find out what my stocks were doing and what a PE ratio is and what a bid-ask spread means, what a volume is. I mean, all those things I learned when I was 14 years old.
That's incredible.
And so that was my beginning. But it's not about me. It's about what does this mean to the world around us? Well, all of those years it took me to do all those things. Somebody listening to this, you can learn everything I learned in those cerebrally, not in terms of the experience, but just the unawareness of what these things are. You could turn on a YouTube channel and in 1 week's time know most of this stuff. The question is, do you have the integrity and the guts to put it into action? So that's it. You can know everything up here, but that's like me teaching you how to fly an airplane. You can't see it there. They have an airplane there, airplanes there, but I can teach you conceptually how to fly an airplane. You don't know how to fly an airplane until you've actually done it. So same with you, Mallory. Have you flown an airplane yet?
I'll let you fly it.
No, you're going to fly with me and I'm going to teach you how to do it.
All right.
I won't let you hurt us. I promise.
Okay.
But I'll just teach you how to do it. And then you go, oh, this is so easy. This is so fun. Right? I love flying airplanes. But for somebody who's listening, okay, there's different categories of people listening, right? Like you kind of elucidated it earlier. What are some of the people, what are some of the questions your people would be asking who are watching this?
Yeah. So you triggered a thought for me, which is, everybody wants to get more, but in order to get more, you have to become more. And you don't become more if you don't take those steps and actually implement some of the stuff that you're talking about, right? And so, yeah, some of the people listening are women who are in a corporate position, working a full-time job and building their business on the side, planning their exit strategy so they can step into that world of freedom that we talk about all the time. Some women have been in the business world, entrepreneurship world for a little bit, and they can't seem to hit that 6-figure mark. So their goal is to hit 6 figures, and then even getting to that point, going from 6 figures to 7 figures, and lots of different challenges that come up at each of those different phases.
Yeah, those are really good questions. So a couple things that are foundational. One is that I think all of us are creators. There's part of us that are creative. Some of us, we really enjoy solving problems. Entrepreneurs are a very special type of creator. We're creators, but we love solving problems, and we have enough self-image where we don't mind getting paid well for it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So an entrepreneur is someone who is creative. They can look at a problem that the world has, solve the problem, and be okay with getting paid for it. So if I were trying to transition from a corporate situation right now to the next level, there's really only two things you can do. You can either build your own system, kind of like you've done, Mallory, with WOW, right? You built your own system and you're deploying your own system. Or you have to find a system that works for you. Mm-hmm. Those are really the only choices. When I say a system, you could either be the owner of a media corporation and have all your broadcasters and podcasters and musicians and DJs. You could be the owner and have a bunch of people. That's your system. Or you could be the DJ and show up and do your DJ thing and get paid and go home, right? So for you, you're creating a system. For me, if I had to start completely from scratch, let me just interject this. People look at my biography and they're like, how do you do so much stuff? what you do is you break your day into 6 parts, 6 2-hour segments, right? You're going to work a 12-hour day and then take 12 hours for yourself. Those 2-hour segments should be pretty much very focused, very intense. Like I'm not doing anything except for this portion of this website.
And then being disciplined enough to follow that.
Yeah. And just like my phone's on mute right now. I don't care if you're, if
the house is burning down.
If God calls me right now, it's like, yeah, I'm doing this podcast. Sorry. You know? So anyway, sorry, God, didn't mean that. So
I was gonna say he's gonna cut our internet right now.
Yeah, glitch.
Yeah.
So where were we? Okay, yeah. So when I was
2-hour segments.
Yeah. So when I was thinking in terms of like segments, I call it building your future in the cracks of life. Building your future in the cracks of life. You can look at anything in nature, and like you could throw seeds out on your patio. Most of the seeds will dry up and go away and die because they're going to get baked or starved, no water. But there's going to be some seeds that actually go in that crack, and they're going to water in, and they're going to get those roots down. You can take your idea, whatever your idea is that you're going to advance, and you can take that idea and drive it into cracks in your life. When I was getting my PhD, actually, I got my bachelor's degree, and my first bachelor's degree was from the Air Force Academy. That was electrical engineering, heavy in physics. My second degree was holistic natural health. And I got the entire bachelor's degree while I was flying airplanes for JetBlue. I got my master's degree flying airplanes for JetBlue. Not while I was actually flying, but all of the time I was sitting in the terminal or sitting in the airport or sitting at the hotel room or sitting by the pool. All of that dead time, I said, okay, there's a 2-hour window. I'm going to make that productive, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of pilots that go out and party or drink or whatever, that's fine. But I wanted to make that productive because my ultimate life goal is to bring forth heaven on earth and leave this place better than when I found it. So every 2-hour window that I've got that I can make productive, I'm going to make it happen. So I got those 2 degrees and then half of my PhD while I was still flying. Then I stopped flying and I finished it on a leave. I took a leave of absence and finished my PhD. So what I'm saying is that, and even playing bass guitar, I was 45 years old. I had never played bass guitar before. And I'd watch videos and I'd just figure it out 20 minutes at a time, 15 minutes at a time. Some 12-year-old kid showing me how to do this on YouTube. And, now I've played out in front of huge crowds. So you can do whatever you want, but you have to propel it with passion and then also back it up by activity and intensity. That's what I would say. And it doesn't even matter what you do, but if you do those basic things, you are limitless. The world is out there specifically for you to go take it. All right. So in terms of the level of income, when I was growing up, my family, baseball was all around us. Every place you looked in Detroit, it was baseball, even though the Tigers were terrible most of the time. You could actually make an argument because everyone loves the sluggers, right? They get up there and slug, home run, mm-hmm. But they strike out a lot too. There's also another person that is so discerning and so wise. They're going to be very specific and wait for the correct pitch. And if they don't get the correct pitch, they're going to end up on first base with a walk. For if you don't know baseball, it makes no sense to you. But the point is, it doesn't matter how you get on base, whether you hit a home run or get to first base, and then you're somebody like me, that you're fast, you can steal second, steal third, and steal home. You're still going to score the same number of runs, whether you're a slugger or whether you're creative. So I'm going to say, just get on base. Don't swing for the fence. Get on base. Don't look at second base. Look at first base. And once you're on first, then you can look at second base. You know that you're going to go home. You know you're going to hit all 4 bases. end up right where you started. But if you know you're going to touch all those bases, go with it. You know what your game plan is. My game plan is to touch all those bases, but you must get to first base. So just get started. Most people fail because they never get started.
That's a really good analogy. And you're making me think of one you've shared previously that I love, and I can never word it the way you do. But, you coming from the world of being a pilot, and you're gonna correct me where I mess this up. But, we have the destination where you need to land, but you need to focus on here and also everything else around you. And not a single flight has ever gone according to plan.
That was almost exactly how I said it.
Really? Oh, look at my memory.
Yeah, because when I go to the airplane, they hey Captain, how you doing? They give me a stack of papers, right? And it's got every waypoint, it's got the plan, it's got the perfect altitude, it's got the projected winds, it's got the weight, it's got the fuel, it's got, if there's weather, it tells me where I'm going to divert, how much gas it's going to take to get to the number one divert. If it's an island, maybe I need a second divert station. There's a whole bunch of things that go into this stack of paper. But the truth is, I've never gone to an airplane and had the paper not have a destination. Like, you have to have a destination. But every time I fly, there's something that doesn't go right. You just have to be ready for it. They're going to say, JetBlue 21, go around, there's an airplane on the runway. Or JetBlue 21, changed to runway 35 left, sidestep 35 left, report runway in sight, whatever. So you have this idea of what you're going to do. You know what your destination is, but how you get there, you almost can't predict it. You just have to. It's like you and I. If you like to go hunting, or not hunting, but hiking. If we were to go hiking or swimming or going someplace, if I said, "Look, there's a peak right there," and you say, "Which one?" Not the first one, the third one. I'm going to say that we're going to hit the top of the third peak. It might take us a day. We're going to get there. You're going to say, but there's a peak and a valley and a peak and a valley in between the ones where we are now and where we're going. Doesn't matter. We have the eye on where we're going, and we're going to do it, and nothing's going to stop us. And plus, I have a picnic basket, so we're good, right?
Absolutely. This is kind of irrelevant, but it's kind of funny. In Guatemala a couple of weeks ago, my most recent hike, I had my Spanish school teacher book it for me, and it was going to be like a sunrise hike. We're going to start at 3 a.m., except it wasn't supposed to be a hike. It was supposed to be a drop-off at the peak for the sunrise. I showed up in my my comfy pajamas, not realizing we had an hour straight up to get to the top first. So,
but you were a sport, and you made it happen.
Absolutely. Be prepared for the unprepared.
I love it. I want to double back. You mentioned people needing to go from 6 figures to 7 figures. Probably the best way to do that is to layer it in. All right. You don't have to hit for the fence. You don't have to swing for the home run. My intent, for me, this is a personal goal of mine, is to help 100 people make 7 figures a year. That's pretty sporty, but I intend to help 100 people make 7 figures a year. Why? Because those people that I help are going to be really good people with good ideas, and I want to show them how to make that money so they can, in turn, put good money behind good ideas to help the world. So I'm leveraging myself by helping them make as much money as they need to deploy their good ideas. How can I do this? Well, I surround myself with people who do what I want to do. I have multiple mentors, but one of my personal mentors got his cell phone. I can call him right now, except for I think he's on vacation, so I wouldn't call him now. But anyway, he makes $250,000 a month. All right, he's made $30 million in 16 years. So he's clearing his way $3 million a year. Does it make sense for me to listen to him? Yes. What if somebody tells me, what if my broke neighbor he's got bald tires and needs new teeth and everything. Like, what if he tells me that I'm stupid for listening to this guy? What's my take on it? I'm just going to bless my neighbor and say, let me know if you want to go to your next level or not. I'll help you. I don't listen to that because he's not where I want to be. I don't want that lifestyle.
Listen to the people who have what you want.
Yeah. And the reason they have that level of income is not because they've stolen from other people. It's because they have good ideas. They put good ideas out there, and money follows good ideas. Money, that's a key thing. Money follows good ideas. So especially if that good idea solves the bigger problem you solve with your good idea, the more money is going to come inbound to you. So for me, I like to do health and wellness but I don't want to do one-on-one health and wellness. So I create systems. I create videos and things to share with people so they can watch videos about how to lose weight, I can't make medical claims, but how to manage their blood sugar in a way that they no longer have to manage their blood sugar. So how to do those things. I put that out there, and those become my little soldiers. These little things become little soldiers. So then they can come back to me, and then I can tell them, okay, great. I'm glad you're here. Here's a couple more videos. When you're ready, when you're done with those videos, ABC 1, 2, 3, here's the checklist. So it's not all on me with my time and my investment teaching them about their butt rash. I'm literally showing, I'm creating tools that are soldiers, and those soldiers do the heavy lifting so that all I need to do is just the trigger point. It's like, okay, great. Welcome. Here's your next step. Here's your next
butt
step.
rash is really top of mind. Have you had a lot of those lately?
I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
But it's not funny if it's yours.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we can bleep that out if you have sensitive people. But I would say
unfiltered here. I was just
I would
thinking
say that if somebody were, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead. I think we set a delay there. I was just thinking, what's the quickest way you can get to one to many so you can make a bigger impact? Yeah,
so that's God, you have some good questions. Okay, number one is you must create leverage. And if you download, if you go to tiajolie.com/perfect, I talk a little bit about leverage. Leverage is something you get like from a franchise. The problem with franchises, they're very expensive. So, you have to find ways to create leverage. I do a podcast called Soul Decodes. And you can go to souldecodes.com and listen to some of our work. But my girlfriend that I do the podcast with every week, Sarah, is a very prolific author. She writes kids books, adult books, most of them having to do with who we are, where we're going as souls, as spirits in this earth space, right? She creates leverage because she writes the book one time, and then people buy the book for years and years. And children buy her books, right? Parents buy the books for their children. That's a form of leverage. You can sing songs. I personally create leverage with technology. All right. Most of my websites have to do with Web3. Most people don't even know what Web3 is. I do. I've made multiple six figures already just from getting ahead of Web 3.0. Knowing what it is, knowing what companies are involved with Web3, knowing which companies are going to capitalize on it, and getting ahead of all that. I mean, there's so much money there, it's ridiculous.
So we could probably do a whole other episode on Web3, but anyone who's interested in checking it out more, is there somewhere they could go to do some of their own research?
Well, I think that I would look specifically at certain companies that are involved in the Web3 space. What Web3 means different things to different people, but if you do just a global search, like a Google search or Yahoo search for the letters ISO, which is like India, Sierra, Oscar, ISO, and then the numbers 20022, you're going to find that there's a whole bunch of different technologies, most of them cryptographic, that are doing different projects in that space. The entire world economic system is going to change, and it's changing right in front of us. We go and swipe a MasterCard at the donut shop. I don't do that, but some people do. And immediately MasterCard or Visa makes 1 or 2% just from you swiping that card. They didn't add any value to the transaction. They added nothing. In fact, they charged you interest. So they charge the vendor 2% and they charge you interest on the unpaid balance. That's a ripoff. Web 3.0, you're going to get a free card. It's attached to whatever resource you want to attach it to. You swipe it. It doesn't matter whether you buy a cup of coffee or a brand new Mercedes CTV5 or CT5V. It doesn't matter what you buy. You can buy a helicopter. The transaction cost is 1/10 of 1 penny. That's where we're going. That's why Web 3.0 is going to be a big thing. People like you with podcasts, look at podcasts. I just bought web3podcasting.com. Why? Because people who are content creators, they only have 2 choices. They can either advertise, and you can learn about adult diapers, or this crazy salt trick that gets rid of your eczema. Whatever. You've heard it all. You can either advertise, or you can get subscriptions. Both of them are lousy models. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into this area where we have micropayments. So let's just say that this podcast here is 1 hour long. I don't know how long you intended to go, but let's just say 1 hour. So it's 60 seconds long. In the future, you'll be able to put this onto Web3, one of the Web3 platforms like Web3 Podcasting or Web3 Media Network, which is mine. You'd be able to put it on there, and anybody that streams the commercial-free, advertising-free content, because they love listening to Mallory and they love listening to Mallory's guests, right? Those people that stream that will pay you 1 penny per minute for uninterrupted good content. A penny per minute. So I'm driving to work and I listen to 30 minutes. That's 30 pennies. So Mallory is going to get paid 30 pennies, and 30 minutes on the way back, Mallory is going to get paid 60 pennies, but she's got 1,000 listeners. So that's 60,000 pennies for one episode, and you get paid 60,000 pennies. But now you have Angel, that's your producer. So you can take the micropayments, the 1 penny per minute streaming. You can take your micropayments and say, Angel, you're such a good producer. I don't pay you enough. I wanted to pay you 1/10 of a penny, right? And she's going to say, what? 1/10 of a penny? You're crazy. And you stop interrupting. Per minute, per episode, forever to infinity for the rest of your life. Would you take 1/10 of a penny for every episode you ever do in your life for the rest of your life? You keep 9/10 of a penny and give your producer 1/10 of a penny. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
The listener wins. Everybody wins. So those are just 2 examples. I've got like a whole bunch. I've got so many more. It's crazy. So Web3, we can do a completely new episode on that. I personally, if you wanted a turnkey thing, something you could do right this minute, there's more millionaires made from direct to consumer marketing. Some of them are garbage. I've got my favorites. But there's some of them are just off the chart good. If you're a podcaster and you're not going to do Web3 yet, there's some affiliate programs can pay you up to 50%. So if they buy your brand of coffee, from your podcast, you have your link for your podcast, and you buy this particular coffee, you can get paid 50%. Those are big numbers because most podcasters only make 5%, right? So there's a lot to be said about direct to consumer. MLMs have negative names. They're like, oh, that's an MLM. I'm not going to do that. I had a guy from LinkedIn connect with me. I got thousands of people connecting with me on LinkedIn. He wants me to do his thing. Everyone wants me to do their thing, sell their stuff, get in their program. I asked this guy straight up, is what you're doing an MLM? For people that don't know MLM, it stands for multi-level marketing. Is what you're doing an MLM? He said, of course not. I said, well, I'm not interested then. All I'm interested in is MLMs. Why? And this blew him away, some attorney or something. It blew him away because if you find the correct MLM and you run with it, you can make so much money, it's ridiculous. The problem is most MLMs are limited, they're junky. I mean, that's why they get a bad name. It doesn't mean all of them are junky. It means that some of them are pretty junky. And even the ones that are good, the people who use them are sometimes they're the way they present them are it's not professional.
I was going to say, there's an example of a system that you can tap into, right? You talked earlier about you create the systems or you tap into a system. There's a system, and we all know systems work. It's people who ruin them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I always say, have you ever been on an airplane and had a bad pilot? Yeah. Does that mean
no, thank God.
Does that mean you're never going to go on an airplane again in your life? Because you had a bad landing or something, right? By the way, in the pilot's world, there's every landing, there's really a good landing is one where you can walk away from it. A great landing is one where you can walk away from it and they can reuse the airplane.
So there's a lot of great landings then, because I've flown quite a bit. Thank God.
Yeah. So I just want to encourage people to don't listen to the broke masses, because there's a lot of people out there they don't have two pennies to rub together, and they're going to tell you that MLMs those are scams and those are pyramids. No, they're not. They wouldn't be like the ones that I look at. They're around for 10, 15, 20 years. They have very solid backgrounds and they have very solid backing and they're debt free. So that's more than you can say. Plus, what I like is you're not, if somebody hates me, they can't fire me. Even if they hate me, they can't fire me. Unless I violate their rules. They all have rules and stuff. But so anyway, those are some of the figures. To get six figures, don't think in terms of six figures. Think in terms of what does that six figure bring you? If you're not making 100,000 a year, let's just say you need to make an extra 60,000 a year to make your six figures. Okay. So you're making 40, you want to make another 60. How do you make 60? Well, you make 5,000 a month. Just break it up. It's 5,000 a month. What are some of the ways you can make 5,000 a month? That's really it. And there, I'm not going to do it now, but I could rattle off 10 ways right this minute you can make $5,000 a month. So anyway.
I'm just thinking I know we're going to wrap this up soon because that hour just flew by, but I'm thinking MLM is one of the things that you are one of your streams. We've also done a really good job of building teams. What is it that you think, why are people attracted to working with you?
So in the end assessment, when you're a creator and you look at the whole world around you, there's fascinating things. There's birds, bees, bumblebees, there's clouds, there's trees, there's all sorts of cool things. The coolest things are people. I just love people. They're all so different. And they all bring such a cool variety and a different perspective to my life. And there's even an ancient Chinese saying that says, the more people I meet, the more I learn about myself. That's pretty cool. So for me, I like to build teams. And for those of you who are doubting yourself, building a team is one of the best things you can do. Here's an example. I actually teach this to my entrepreneur group. I had a girl last week say, "Oh, I don't think I could do this because I'm an introvert." You don't think you can do this because you're an introvert. Is there any other reason you don't think you can do this? No, I'm just an introvert. I'm like, okay. Do you think I can do this? Oh, of course, clearly. If I help you, do you think we can do this? Yes. There's 7 billion people in the world. Do you know any of them that don't have goals and dreams and aspirations? Or do you think you can find 2 or 3 or 10? Do you think you can find a handful of people that have goals and dreams and aspirations? Yes. Do you think any of them are not introverts? Of course. Do you think you can help introduce me to them? Yes. Great. Let's do this.
That is so inspirational the way you worded that. I almost want to jump on whatever is the next thing you're doing. You don't even have to tell me what it is. I'm like, yes.
Look, all of us are afraid. Landing an airplane the first time, you're afraid.
Yeah.
But I promise you, Mallory, there's going to be a time where we're flying, you fly, you land the airplane, you take off the airplane, whatever, hover the helicopter, you're going to do it. And you're going to be just thrilled with yourself because you don't think you can do it, but then you have the guts to try it, and you have a good teacher, good instructor. You try it and you fall in love with it, and you never not want to do it. We're talking about flying airplanes, but the same thing with business. Like, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to ask, just be doubtful. You've been dumbed down and brainwashed your whole life. You've been told to sit down, shut up, stay in the lines. Cows are not purple. You don't get to pee until the bell rings. You've been told all of these limiting things. It's time for you to say, I'm limitless. I'm free. I'm me. You're not, the world is not subject. You are not subject to the world. The world is subject to you. My ability to do things is limited only, like I have domain over everything around me, up to and including somebody else's sovereign domain. So if I bump up against somebody else's sovereignty, then we have a negotiation to be made. But other than that, the world is mine to own until I bump into another contract or another agreement that I have to make with another sovereign.
I love that. I've had so much fun doing this with you. I have a question for my own personal curiosity. If you were to go back to a younger version of yourself, and whichever one, what's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger version?
Oh my God, I'd have like a stack. But the one thing I would have liked to have done earlier in my life would be I enjoy bass guitar so much. I wish I would have played bass guitar earlier in my life, only because it brings me joy and I really enjoy it. I think the second thing would be, I wish I would have learned earlier to get out of my ego, self, and let other people be correct. Let other people be wealthy. Let other people win. Because we're trained in this earth space. It's a zero-sum game. If Mallory wins, Tia Jolie loses. If Tia Jolie wins, Mallory loses. I liken it to the Western game of checkers. If you play checkers, you start with your black, what are they called?
Chips or whatever. Your
hockey pucks. You're from Canada.
Yeah.
Your little black hockey pucks. And I have my little white hockey pucks, right? And at the end, there's going to be only one person left standing. In Chinese checkers, which is a different way of thinking, I have 10 marbles, you have 10 marbles. At the end of the game, both of us still have 10 marbles. It's not a war of attrition. It's a war of thinking and outmaneuvering. But in the end, we can both win and we can still have all of our marbles. So I would say that looking for ways to find win-win scenarios is better than scarcity mentality. Take everything you can, take what you need and give the rest away. That's a really healthy way to look at things.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your wow effects with us today. And I think our listeners are going to get so much from your journey. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
I know
love all the listeners.
I know you dropped it a couple times throughout, but maybe just one more time, if you can just share, if people want to look you up, where would you want them to go check you out?
Thank you for that. My actual website is my name. I use the first and second name, Tia Jolie, TIAJOLIE.com. That would be my primary thing. But if you just want to search anywhere on the internet, you can find, I use like the ampersand, Dr. Tia Jolie. So you can just go to Google and just search Dr. Tia Jolie and I'll pop up pretty much everywhere.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You're the best. All right, be well. Blessings to you. Take care.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to follow the show so you don't miss an episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you're going to love what we have coming up. If you found value in what you heard, share it with a friend who might need it too. Until next time, keep building your dream life and your dream business.